Welcome to Voice of Africa, your go-to channel for insightful analysis on Africa's emerging leaders and their impact on the continent's future. In 2024, Africa stands at a pivotal moment in its history. A new generation of leaders is emerging, ready to tackle long-standing challenges and seize unprecedented opportunities. But who are these visionaries shaping the continent's future? Africa's development trajectory hinges on the effectiveness of its leadership. The significance of capable governance in driving innovation, sustainability, and inclusive growth cannot be overstated. These emerging leaders face the formidable task of addressing persistent issues such as poverty, inequality, and political instability, while simultaneously capitalizing on Africa's rich resources and burgeoning potential. As the continent grapples with global economic pressures and environmental concerns, the decisions made by these individuals will have far-reaching consequences. Their ability to foster regional cooperation, attract investment, and implement progressive policies will be crucial in determining Africa's role on the world stage. This video examines the profiles of key figures poised to guide Africa through this critical juncture and into a new era of prosperity and influence. As we turn our attention to the economic landscape of Africa in 2024, three leaders stand out for their innovative approaches to driving transformation. These visionaries have risen from grassroots involvement to positions of significant influence, implementing bold strategies to address poverty, unemployment, and sustainable development. First, we have Dr. Amina Abdi, the Minister of Finance in Somalia. Dr. Abdi's journey began in a small fishing village, where she witnessed firsthand the impact of economic instability on local communities. Her experiences shaped her commitment to financial reform and inclusive growth. Since taking office, Dr. Abdi has spearheaded a comprehensive overhaul of Somalia's financial sector, focusing on digitalization and mobile banking to increase access to financial services for rural populations. One of Dr. Abdi's most notable initiatives is the Digital Shilling Project, which aims to create a secure, blockchain-based national currency. This innovative approach has already shown promising results, with a 15% increase in formal financial inclusion rates within the first year of implementation. Dr. Abdi's policies have also attracted significant foreign investment, with Somalia seeing a 22% increase in foreign direct investment compared to the previous year. Moving to West Africa, we find Kwame Osei, the newly appointed head of Ghana's Economic Development Board. Osei's background in tech startups and social entrepreneurship has informed his unique approach to economic policy. His flagship program, Ghana Tech Hub 2030, aims to position the country as Africa's leading technology and innovation center. The program includes significant investments in STEM education, startup incubators, and digital infrastructure. Early data indicates that the initiative has created over 50,000 new jobs in the tech sector and contributed to a 3.5% increase in Ghana's GDP growth rate. Osei's focus on fostering a knowledge-based economy is seen as a model for other African nations looking to diversify beyond traditional resource-based economies. Our third profile focuses on Zainab Bello, Nigeria's Minister of Trade and Investment. Bello's background in international trade negotiations has proven invaluable as she navigates the complexities of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. Her strategic approach to leveraging Nigeria's position within the AfCFTA has resulted in a 28% increase in intra-African trade for the country. Bello has also implemented a series of reforms to improve Nigeria's ease of doing business, including streamlining business registration processes and introducing tax incentives for small and medium-sized enterprises. These measures have led to a 40% increase in new business registrations and a significant reduction in unemployment rates. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this deep dive into Africa's emerging leaders, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to Voice of Africa. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth content on the issues that matter most. All three leaders face significant challenges in their efforts to drive economic transformation. Global economic uncertainties, including fluctuating commodity prices and the ongoing impacts of climate change, pose substantial threats to their initiatives. However, these innovators are actively seeking international partnerships to mitigate these risks. Dr. Abdi has secured crucial support from the International Monetary Fund for Somalia's currency reform, while Ose has forged partnerships with leading global tech companies to support Ghana's digital transformation. Bello, meanwhile, has been instrumental in negotiating favorable trade agreements with the European Union and China, ensuring that Nigeria's interests are protected in the global marketplace. While economic transformation is crucial, social progress and human rights remain equally vital for Africa's development. Three leaders stand out for their pioneering work in these areas, each addressing pressing societal challenges with innovative approaches that balance tradition and modernity. Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, former chairperson of the African Union Commission and current Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in South Africa, has long been a champion for women's rights and social equity. Her journey began as a young activist during apartheid, shaping her commitment to social justice. Dr. Dlamini-Zuma's recent initiative, Empowered Communities 2030, aims to bridge the urban-rural divide in access to education and healthcare. The program has established 500 community centers across South Africa, offering digital literacy courses, telemedicine services, and entrepreneurship training. Early data shows a 30% increase in rural women's participation in local governance and a 25% rise in small business registrations in targeted areas. Dr. Dlamini-Zuma's approach emphasizes the importance of integrating traditional leadership structures with modern governance systems, ensuring buy-in from local communities while promoting progressive policies. In Kenya, Chief Justice Martha Koome has emerged as a formidable advocate for judicial reform and children's rights. Koume's background as the first female Chief Justice in Kenya's history informs her unique perspective on legal and social challenges. Her Access to Justice program has established mobile courts in remote areas, increasing access to legal services for marginalized communities by 40% in its first year. Koume's focus on juvenile justice has led to the implementation of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms for young offenders, reducing juvenile incarceration rates by 35%. Her efforts to digitize court processes have also improved efficiency, reducing case backlogs by 25%. Koume's leadership demonstrates how modernizing traditional institutions can lead to more equitable and efficient systems of justice. In Ghana, Education Minister Dr. Yor Ose Adutwum is revolutionizing the country's approach to learning. Coming from a humble background in rural Ghana, Dr. Adutwum's experiences shaped his vision for an education system that serves all Ghanaians. His Education 4.0 initiative aims to align Ghana's curriculum with the demands of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The program has introduced coding and artificial intelligence courses in 60% of secondary schools, established 20 STEM-focused schools in underserved regions, and increased girls' enrollment in STEM subjects by 40%. Dr. Adutwum has also implemented a controversial policy of integrating local languages into early education, alongside English, to improve literacy rates. This approach has shown promising results, with a 15% increase in reading comprehension scores among primary school students. These leaders face significant challenges in implementing their visions. Cultural resistance to changes in traditional practices, limited resources, and the need to balance rapid modernization with cultural preservation are ongoing concerns. Dr. Dlamini-Zuma's efforts to promote women's leadership in traditional communities have met with resistance from some tribal authorities. Chief Justice Koume's reforms have been criticized by some as undermining traditional dispute resolution mechanisms. Dr. Adutwum's language policy has faced opposition from those who fear it may hinder students' global competitiveness. As we turn our attention to Pan-African cooperation, three visionary leaders stand out for their tireless efforts to promote regional integration and collaboration across the continent. These individuals are at the forefront of shaping a united Africa, working through organizations like the African Union and regional economic communities to address shared challenges and capitalize on collective opportunities. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, has emerged as a key architect of Pan-African economic integration. With a background in agricultural economics, Dr. Adesina has championed initiatives that leverage Africa's vast agricultural potential to drive economic growth and food security across the continent. His Feed Africa strategy aims to transform African agriculture into a globally competitive, inclusive, and business-oriented sector. Under Dr. Adesina's leadership, the African Development Bank has increased its focus on cross-border infrastructure projects. The bank has committed $4.5 billion to the construction of regional power pools, aiming to boost electricity access across multiple countries. Additionally, Dr. Adesina has been instrumental in promoting the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, working to create a single market for goods and services across 54 African countries. Musa Faki Mahamat, chairperson of the African Union Commission, has been a driving force behind political and security cooperation on the continent. A former Prime Minister of Chad, Mahamat has leveraged his diplomatic experience to mediate conflicts and promote peace across Africa. His Silencing the Guns initiative aims to end all wars, civil conflicts, and gender-based violence in Africa by 2030. Mahamat has been particularly active in addressing the security challenges in the Sahel region. He has coordinated the deployment of a multinational joint task force to combat terrorism and organized crime in the Lake Chad Basin. This effort has resulted in improved security cooperation among Chad, Niger, Nigeria, and Cameroon, leading to a 30% reduction in terrorist incidents in the region over the past 2 years. Dr. Vera Songwe, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, has been instrumental in promoting economic cooperation and sustainable development across the continent. Her Digital ID for Africa initiative aims to provide digital identification to all Africans by 2030, facilitating cross-border trade and financial inclusion. Dr. Songwe has also been a vocal advocate for climate action in Africa. She spearheaded the creation of the African Climate Policy Center, which provides technical support to African countries in implementing their climate change commitments. This initiative has led to a 15% increase in renewable energy projects across the continent in the past year alone. These leaders face significant challenges in their efforts to promote Pan-African cooperation. Historical divisions, diverse national interests, and varying levels of economic development often hinder integration efforts. Dr. Adesina's push for a single African market has met resistance from some countries concerned about losing tariff revenues. Mahamat's peacekeeping initiatives have sometimes struggled to secure adequate funding and troop commitments from member states. Dr. Songwe's Digital ID project has raised concerns about data privacy and sovereignty in some quarters. Despite these obstacles, these visionaries have made significant strides in fostering cross-border collaboration. Dr. Adesina's work on regional power pools has facilitated electricity sharing between Ethiopia and Kenya, increasing power access in both countries. Mahamat's mediation efforts were crucial in resolving the political crisis in Sudan in 2019, demonstrating the AU's growing capacity for conflict resolution. Dr. Songwe's climate initiatives have led to joint renewable energy projects between Morocco and Senegal, showcasing the potential for regional cooperation on environmental issues. The emerging leaders of Africa in 2024 share common themes of innovation, inclusivity, and Pan-African cooperation. Their collective impact is reshaping the continent's trajectory, driving economic transformation, social progress, and regional integration. Dr. Amina Abdi's digital currency initiative in Somalia, Kwame Ose's tech hub in Ghana, and Zainab Bello's trade reforms in Nigeria exemplify the focus on economic innovation. Champions like Dr. Dlamini Zuma, Chief Justice Kume, and Dr. Adutwum are addressing social challenges through community empowerment, judicial reform, and education modernization. Pan-African visionaries such as Dr. Adesina, Musa Faki Mahamat, and Dr. Songwe are fostering continental cooperation in areas like agriculture, security, and climate action. Despite progress, challenges persist in overcoming historical divisions, resource limitations, and balancing tradition with modernity. However, these leaders demonstrated ability to implement transformative policies, positions Africa for continued growth and increased global influence in the years ahead. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated on the latest developments across Africa, make sure to subscribe to Voice of Africa and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for watching.